Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another video series on the Doors. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the compositional abilities of the band, particularly looking at Ray Manzarek on keyboards, Robbie Krieger on guitar, and John Densmore on drums. In the first video, if you haven't seen it, this was on the lyrics. I'll put a link in the description. We took a look at Jim Morrison and the influence of the Dionysian on his mindset and what kind of went into the process of writing behind the scenes. But Jim Morrison's approach to lyric writing and his performances wouldn't really work without the incredible musicianship of the Doors band members. So in this video, we're going to look at kind of the musical underpinning for the Doors, not all the Doors songs, but a lot of cool things that they did, and talk a little bit about how the compositional chops of the band perfectly support whatever was going on in the lyrics with Jim Morrison. In this video, we're going to look at three different techniques. One is going to be looking at vamping, modal vamping. The second one is going to be having a look at the influence of the blues. And then the third thing we'll look at is some parallel harmonic motion. Moving into the first technique, modal vamping, I'd like to use a couple songs as examples. The first one we'll use is Riders on the Storm from the intro. And if you notice from the intro, there was this left-hand part here that Manzarek would play. And one thing to notice is we have this low E, which creates a drone, a vamp, on this E minor essentially. And I don't know if you noticed, but it creates this sort of atmospheric sound, which lends itself really well to the lyrics. The lyrics in this song, I have it written down here. The lyrics were inspired, at least in part, by Morrison's fascination with hitchhikers. Particularly, there was this American serial killer named Billy Cook who murdered 6 people on a 22-day rampage hitchhiking from Missouri to California in 1950. So something kind of surreal about this song. There's also like some sound effects in the background of rain showers and storming weather and super vibey kind of tune. This sort of vamping modality here is really, really cool. It's actually a Dorian mode. So you have this E bass, but it's a D major scale with an E bass. Creates a Dorian sound. So this is like that whole thing is in basically D major. Really, really cool sound. So definitely would recommend, if you want to do something atmospheric like that, is to kind of hang out in one place musically. Even though in this song you do get some chords changing, like you get this sort of like Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. So this stuff is changing up here, but the bass is always the E. Same thing with the next section, goes to an A. To this house we're born. Now I'm vamping on an A. Into this world we're thrown. Back to the E. And then finally with the turnaround you get a little bit of reprieve. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan, riders on the storm. Another really cool vamp that you hear in one of the Doors songs is the song The End, which has this really, really amazing guitar part in the beginning. It's in basically the key of D. So I got to tune my guitar into drop D. So I'm dropping the low string to E and also the high string to E. So same thing in the end, we're in the key of D major. Although, the guitar doesn't really play the F sharp. It really de-emphasizes the F sharp, which would be the third, which makes it a little bit ambiguous, which works out perfectly because it matches the lyrics about the ending of a friendship. Actually, Even Morrison didn't even know what this song was totally about. They asked him in an interview in 1969, he said, "Every time I hear that song, it means something else to me. I really don't know what I was trying to say. It just sort of started out as a simple goodbye song, probably just to a girl, but I could see how it could be goodbye to a kind of childhood. I really don't know. I think it's sufficiently complex and universal in its imagery that it could be almost anything you want it to be." So, in order to match that kind of idea, we've got this vampy thing going on in D major. I don't know it like totally note for note here, but it's something like so really beautiful. You could also do something kind of in a minor mode if you wanted, like. Super hypnotizing kind of thing. The end, a very haunting, chilling song, almost like a sitar. Maybe check out some vamping in your next composition. See if you can kind of create some fun atmospheric Doors sounds. Okay, the next thing I want to move on to is the blues. The Doors love to play the blues, and in their residency at the London Fog Club in LA, they actually covered lots of blues songs, particularly Muddy Waters and that sort of energized, electrified Chicago blues. So I'm going to go ahead and retune back into E here. Okay, so if you think about the blues, the basic blues, like I'll do one in E, you basically get a 12-bar form, and you're going the 1 chord, maybe throwing in the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, and then in the 5th bar, you go to the 4 chord, bar 7 back to the 1 chord, and then in the last 4 bars, you get some kind of a turnaround, usually from the 5 chord, moving somehow back to the 1. Maybe like a little riff at the end or some chord thing. So let me just show you like a regular blues. So that's your basic blues, which is great. What's interesting about how the Doors did it is they did modified blues, which is common in a lot of actually like classic rock. No different here with the Doors. A couple of cool examples I wanted to show you. So if you want to have like a high driving energy, something fresh though that doesn't sound kind of stale like the one I just did. Nothing wrong with the simple blues at all, but you know, if you want to do something kind of more interesting. Here's Love Me 2 Times, which is a blues. Very odd form though. You get basically a blues riff, this thing. Right? And that happens for a while, and then we do move to the 4 chord, but only for 1 bar. Here's it. And then we're back into the riff. Then we go to this D chord, which is very strange. This is a flat 7. I'm going to play this in a second so you can hear the whole thing. And then into some hits on a C7. And then we go into a rock progression, G, D, C, B7, and then back to 1. Very, very fun form. I'm going to play the whole thing so you can get a vibe for it. Love me 2 times, baby. Love me twice today. such a cool form. So maybe you can be a little creative in your blues. Another fun example is like a droning blues that they did in Roadhouse Blues. So instead of going to the 4 chord, going and turning around and all this stuff, there is a twist at the end, but it mostly hangs out on the 1 chord. So you basically get this kind of thing. And then some variations like thing. Then it goes to the 4 chord. Then we do go to the 5 chord, but then up a half step. Really fun song. So feel free to mess around with the blues. You can do twists to it. This reminds me kind of like even like a CCR or something like Green River. I think that's the name of that tune. Anyway, fun things to do. Kind of a classic rock vibe there. Okay, so the last thing I want to go into is parallel harmonic motion. This is just sort of the band flexing their musical chops. The songs that use parallel harmonic motion for the Doors tend to be a little bit more glitzy, glamorous. Their most famous one, Light My Fire, I'll play that here. So you get this fun motion where you're going G, you do it on piano first, G to D, F to B flat, E flat to A flat, and then an A. So you're basically key of G, 1-5, key of F, 1-4, key of E flat, 1-4, and then up a half step to A. So 4 keys in the span of 4 bars. And the organ part, of course. That's a fun song, actually. It goes into a totally different vibe after that, like this kind of groovy samba thing. You know that I would be untrue. What are the lyrics? I have them over here. Oh yeah. You know that it would be untrue. Know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. I try to set the night on fire. That's a cool tune. The other song that I wanted to illustrate this parallel harmonic motion is the song Touch Me, which has actually 3 different keys. You got the key of G major, the key of B flat major, and the key of D flat major. And all 3 of those keys are spaced out in minor thirds, G, and then B flat, and then D flat. You get this really, really fun guitar part. Come on, come on, come on. Super cool parallel motion going on in that song. That's sort of a flashy thing to do. Basically, what you would do if you're writing that way is play some kind of either a chord progression or a lick in one key, and then find a way to transpose it either up or down, moving in the same interval of space. That way you get, or at least similar intervals. That way you get some parallelism going on and it makes sense musically. Okay, so this has been kind of a long video. I hope you guys got at least some kind of nugget of wisdom out of it. The biggest takeaway from this video is if you have a singer or you write lyrics that are kind of, they go in a lot of different directions, you're all over the place, and you also want to be kind of entertaining and fun for your audience, it's great to have a variety of different musical tools in your toolkit instead of doing the same old thing, mixing it up, trying different vibes, different feels, and you'll get some nice contrast from song to song and entertain your fans that way. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please, engage with the video in some way. I really would appreciate it. Any kind of like or subscription makes the channel more relevant on YouTube, and it invites more people to come and want to see the material because it triggers the algorithm in a positive way. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, bye.